Welcome to Mike's apartment, where we review drinks and have a little bit of comedy along the way. I'm your host. I am Mike. With me is my co-host Tom. Tom, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of looking forward to trying this wine today.
We are reviewing Woodbridge Pinot Noir. That's our drink. We're gonna take a look at.
Yeah, we already opened and poured a
Yeah,
glass
we got the
just to let it
glass ready.
breathe. I,
Yep.
Mike doesn't think that'll make a difference
Not
because it's
not with
it's bottom shelf wine.
not with bottom shelf wine. It won't. But all
It doesn't
right.
smell bad. I like it.
No.
It's
All
not,
right. Well, without further ado, so we have a few things to jump into, but without further ado, let's cheers.
okay,
Cheers.
cheers.
All right. Well, we
Wow.
it's it's better than I thought, but
I think
not
it's
as good as
sweeter than most Pinot Noirs that I've
yeah.
had. I think I seem to recall them being, or maybe I'm thinking of Shiraz. That was more dry. I can't remember, but I
Yeah.
like it. It's got some sweet aromas and flavors, and
I'm gonna yeah let it. I'm gonna mull it over while we talk about it. But I guess Tom wanted the opportunity here to
yeah.
go over some theater
Well,
pictures a little bit more. But go
yeah.
ahead,
Well,
Tom.
Mike sent me this hat because I told him in high school I had been a court jester for a show, um, and I found this old notebook that's falling apart that I didn't have a photo album, so I just taped pictures and newspaper clippings to the pages. So here you can see me playing the court jester, and I had a girlfriend, and apparently I was crying to my little shaker thing there that was a little miniature jester. I also mentioned that I had training in doing puppets. So this picture right here that my fingers are on, that's me with another guy doing a two-person puppets. I was the arms, and he was doing the head, and then let's see if I can close this without breaking it. I mentioned Mike.
Oh,
I
your
had
puppet.
him. I had a monkey puppet,
Oh, oh my. You're gonna
and
you're gonna play with your monkey in front of us? I mean,
sure,
I mean, puppeteer your monkey.
stick my hand up its ass. I don't know. Anyways, so it's
That's
got
what it
legs that
takes.
go around your tummy too, so it looks like it's holding on to you, but I'm too fat for that. And so I would talk. I would. I'm not going to do a whole lot with the puppet here, but anyways, you can make it makes facial expressions and it stick its tongue out, whatever. I took this on mission trips to Mexico, and people on the bus would play with it. But anyways,
No, no, no. Do a little talk. Let's. I want to hear this.
can you say something,
Yes, you can.
please? It's not a trained monkey. I'm not a trained monkey.
Oh, you
I,
converse.
I'm
Oh,
not trained. Can you hear me?
I like
Mike.
I like your monkey a lot. I think your
Well, he's
monkey should be a permanent feature on this show.
just a minute.
Give the monkey a little wine. I don't. That doesn't actually
No,
look
I'm
like he's.
not. I don't want to get it. I don't want to have to
Just
wash
kidding.
it.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so this is my the only puppet that I have. I'd like to get back into doing puppets and stuff. And then one other thing, we talked about old toys, and I found a bucket of miscellaneous old toys I had when I was growing up. We had let's see, I had Jesus and some GI Joes. This is
Pretty
a
random.
Destro. His arm is broken. Here's a cage for Velociraptors from Jurassic Park. Also had uh, let's see here. This I was more of an adult at this time, but we got from my younger brothers some Star Wars Phantom Menace action figures. So we got Padme and Obi Wan. Got a few other random things in here, more GI Joes and stuff. But I was hoping to find what was it we were talking about?
I don't know.
I don't remember
What were we
what
talking?
movie. I don't remember what movie we were talking about, but I couldn't find the toys from the other movie that we talked about.
Well,
Anyways,
I hate to say it. We
that's.
talk about so many movies on this channel, it'd be impossible for me to know. I mean,
Oh, I think I was looking for Star Trek Next Generation toys
oh yeah, that would be good. That'd be good.
because we had some of those too. I remember we had a an Enterprise that um, it had. You remember the? I think it was at the end of the show when they brought in this Enterprise with the third nacelle on the back.
Hmm.
So we had one where you could fold that out, and then you could also open up the bridge, and we had little action figures you could play with on the bridge, and Data, Geordi, Picard, Riker, all of them. Troy, I think, might have been there. I don't remember. I hope my little ball thing isn't hitting my microphone too loudly.
Well, Counselor Troy, or I should say Marina Sirtis, does have a dark side. She played in the soft core porn movie Death Wish 3.
Um, yeah, that was a Canon movie. I remember they
Can
actually watched it on. Canon was the company that made it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I think the last movie they made was Masters of the Universe, and then they went bankrupt. But
Yeah,
but
Death Wish
but
3 had Marina Sirtis where she went full
she wasn't fully naked, was she? I thought she just showed her
uh
boobs. I think there was
that's
another movie
the
where she was being chased and they ripped some of her clothes off when they chased her.
yeah, I don't
She,
know exactly because I've
I
not seen
guess
the movie. I've only seen
there's
parts.
I heard a story about her at a con with William Frakes. Um,
Jonathan Frakes.
uh, Jonathan Frakes. Sorry.
Will Riker is
Uh,
the name of the character. Jonathan Frakes is the
yeah,
name of the
yeah.
actor. So
I'm sorry. I'm
you
mixing whatever.
that's okay.
Jonathan. I was in the right. I at least had the right person. But anyways, Jonathan Frakes was talking about like some funny story about something that happened on set, maybe with a microwave or whatever. I don't know. This is I don't remember. I wasn't.
Something with a
I
microwave.
didn't see the interview. I just anyways, but I guess he got kind of awkward and quiet when Mira Sirtis was like, "I'm just so grateful to be able to do this. The stuff I had to do before was so terrible, or whatever."
Oh,
Yeah.
that is
So
horrible.
so
Actually, my ex met her in a bathroom. It was at
what she did.
it was a
Oh.
convention in Minnesota called Convergence, and I would guess it was somewhere around 2010 era. But anyways, yeah,
Mhm.
she literally bumped into her coming out of the bathroom as Marina was going in, and she's
Mhm.
like, "You're Counselor Troy," and she's like, "Yes, yes, I am, but I gotta use the bathroom." She's like,
I
"Okay."
I gotta use the bathroom like everybody else.
Yep, she cannot.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, she cannot telepathically use the bathroom, and somehow she really has to actually go into a bathroom to use it. I know it's horrible. Anyways, that's
Yeah.
my little story. All right, so we are gonna talk about Anthony. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but we're gonna talk about Anthony Bourdain. A little bit here. So, who was Anthony Bourdain? During the heyday of the early 2000s, like the cooking networks, like the Food Network, and Gordon Ramsay, who was not part of that, but was also had his own food shows. That was the prime time, where there were a lot of celebrity chefs and a lot of like cooking like competitions and things like that. That's when they got really popular. They still exist. I think they're just not as popular as they used to be. Like other ones, Alton Brown, Rachel Ray. God, I can't even remember them all.
Oh, Martha
Bobby.
Stewart.
Yeah, well, she was from before. I think she wasn't part of that movement, but yeah, Martha Stewart was there. You could also say Paula Dean was kind of before that too. But then yeah, Bobby Flay. There were a bunch of celebrity chefs. Well, one that stood out, Anthony Bourdain. So Anthony Bourdain came from. He was a chef at God. What was it called? Hollies, Des Hollies or something. I don't know. It was a restaurant in New York City, upscale. It sounded like, and well, the thing about it though that he did was he wrote a book called Kitchen Confidential, and it went over a lot of the things that happen at restaurants that your common person, does not know. Things like don't order fish on Monday because that fish on Monday is always the leftover fish they had over the weekend. And like other things too. He talked about the drugs, the sex, the whatever that people like in that industry just, had. It's also like a hardcore job. Like you'd be doing 6 days a week, 12 to 16-hour days, and then you'd still party.
Jeez.
Yeah, you'd still party, and then you'd go do whatever. Well, how Anthony Bourdain, he didn't consider himself like the best of the best when it came to being a chef, though he was definitely trained, as that. His real claim to fame was the traveling. He had a couple different TV shows where he would go, like what is it, parts, one of them was Parts Unknown, one of
Yeah,
them
that's the one that I watched
you
was Parts
yeah.
Unknown, Uruguay. That was good.
Yeah, he went to a lot of different countries. He traveled there, he tried their cuisine, and then he talked about, his, like, what he thought, how he felt, and it was very introspective. It was very like people really liked watching it because it wasn't just like your
Hmm.
normal like, oh, I traveled here and this is what this tasted like. It was also about how it impacted him as a person, like how it affected him. Unfortunately, God, what was it, 2017 or 2019 or something like that? He was found dead. He was in France and he was found dead in his hotel. He had hung himself, so he committed
Hmm.
suicide. He was in his early 60s when that
Hanged.
happened.
Hanged.
Yeah, he was hanged. Yeah, yeah. He hung
Hu-
himself.
hu- hu- Hung is usually associated with another thing.
Yeah, well, I don't know how well hung he was. But however, since
He,
he
I think it's more acceptable to say he hanged himself.
yeah. So anyway, they
Although,
found
although,
him.
anyways, go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry,
they found yeah. He whatever. Anyways, he committed
he killed
suicide.
himself.
Yeah, they found him in the hotel. There was not really any notes or anything. The thing about him though was that he had experienced depression throughout his entire life. Like he was always a depressed person and he actually talked about killing himself and people didn't know whether to take that seriously or not because he said it so casually so many times, but that's like the thing, like if in your head you constantly like say something casually, eventually you might actually end up doing it, and that was the thing. It's
I
like
don't think. Yeah,
he was
I
crying.
don't
It was a
think you should
cry for
ever
help.
take it lightly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
shouldn't.
don't think.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
I agree with you 100%. He should have. Someone should have realized that that was definitely something that was on his mind, and I, I don't. It was like a cry for help in a way. It's a very small cry, but as like a man, it's a lot. Males
Hmm.
tend to be more stoic. They tend to keep things like more inside of themselves.
Hmm.
Um, but no, it's it's incredible. Go and watch many of the. He has many episodes in a few, not just Parts Unknown, but he has like other TV shows. He also guest appeared on several things. Also, he was an incredible chef, an incredible writer, an incredible traveler who could share his experiences. I highly recommend Kitchen Confidential. I own the book. I've read it like twice or three times. It's really, really good. Um, I think he may have wrote another book. Well, he wrote some cookbooks too. So I don't know. Anyways, he was an incredible, creator of content and an incredible chef. He knew and he could define it too. Like it was he's traveling and going to different places. Like one part, he took a shot of a still beating cobra's heart. Cobra the snake.
Oh,
They actually
yeah.
cut it
What?
out. The heart was still beating, and he took a shot of it. I mean, just the craziest.
Whoa!
These are
I don't think I could
experiences.
do that.
I could. I could do it. I could do it. I would do it for Anthony. um, so long story short, that's kind of our serious topic. There's not a lot necessarily to go into other than watch his content. Get. He is definitely someone that
Mm-hmm.
I admired personally. I do admire personally, and was is definitely like an impact on my life, like someone who definitely
Mm-hmm.
influenced a lot of I'm not a chef. I am a home cook, but a lot of like the home cook
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I do is based on him, what he's done, and
Really?
and one of the
Okay.
things is always, and we texted Tom, you and I texted the other day
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I made osabuca a la Kansas City. It's actually osabuca a la Milanese because it's from the Italian
Mm-hmm.
city of Milan. But I made the Kansas City version, so a la
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City. I made that version, and it was lamb shanks. So normally they use veal shanks there, but that's not, unless you go to like a butcher shop, you're not gonna find veal shanks anywhere. So I used lamb shanks. Um, but I made it. It was amazing. Me and my fiance who tasted it, we loved it. It was so good. But it's also
Did you
like
go with the Chianti or what did you pair it with? I know you said
actually
it was a red.
it was menage a trois.
Oh, okay.
It was the sweet. It was a blend. It had three wines, three red wines in it. I believe one of them is Pinot Noir. I think the other one is Cab, and then I think the third one maybe it was just like a sweet red. Like they didn't like define it necessarily, but no, it was really good with that wine. I also used beef stock. So with veal shanks, you would use a white wine. With lamb shanks, you use a red wine. Also, you use a beef stock. With veal,
Lamb.
with veal, you would have used a chicken stock. So, anyway, there's a few, there's a
Hmm.
lot of differences, but I guess my takeaway here is this: Anthony, what his work and how it influenced me was it was push forward, even on things that you're not comfortable with cooking. Try it, take risks.
Hmm.
Cooking is an art. Cooking is not so baking is the science, cooking is the art. And you know what? Sometimes with art, with science, with baking, you don't take risks. You just follow exactly what they say. But cooking, you have to, there's a part of it, and this is why people love cooking so much. That's why there's shows about it, competitions about it. It is an art form. It is something that one person makes something and then another person makes the same thing, but they taste completely different based upon what they did. Not even necessarily better or worse, just different. So that's what I love about cooking. And Anthony Bourdain was definitely an influence on my life, and my like philosophy as far as how I cook and why I make the things that I make. So here's to you, Anthony Bourdain. I don't know. Do you have any other questions?
No,
Any other
let's
things
drink
about
to Anthony. I liked the stuff I learned, but let's do a quick toast to Anthony, and then
Anthony?
I can add a couple comments. But uh, I I know when
I
I
took a
watch
big gulp for Anthony. Anthony
I'm
would have
what
appreciated a bigger gulp.
uh, I when I forgot who he was until you mentioned him the other day, and then I watched a video yesterday on parts unknown Uruguay, and then I said, oh wait a minute, he's that guy because I have seen him before. Some of his other shows, I don't really remember much about them. One thing I liked with the parts of Uruguay was they talked a lot about the culture. They didn't just talk about the food,
Hmm.
which they actually talked about like I guess back I don't know what time frame this was, but I think it was maybe in the 80s or something. Or maybe it was earlier than that, maybe the 60s when they had like a bunch of changes in the government going on and they had so many cows, they ended up just letting them go loose in the wild and they just had this overpopulation of cows and that's why they have a lot of beef. And what they would do, I guess, is go out, hunt a cow, kill it, and then barbecue it right there. And So I guess if the Anthony, I think it was, made a comment. Um, the first time he visited Uruguay, they he said it took him like a week to find a place that had any kind of vegetables that were served with the food. He says that's all meat. They talked about their national sandwich, which I'm trying to think what it.
Tom is cutting off here.
I have some steak in the fridge,
Slow
and I
down,
have some ground beef.
slow down, buddy. You
Okay.
cut off at National
Okay.
Sandwich. We got to get your
Okay.
internet fixed. This is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Anyways,
Well,
so
it's funny. I'm like 2 feet away from my Wi-Fi. I don't know
why
why I'm
don't you?
having issues,
Well,
but
why don't you use a cord and plug it in then? Because that's
because I don't have an Ethernet port on my Surface Pro. I mean,
you're
I
using a
guess I
Surface Pro.
yeah. I have an external thing for plugging in like regular USB and
All
HDMI
right.
and
Well,
the
we got to look into
SIM
that
cards. But
probably. But
anyways,
anyways, all right. You left off at National Sandwich. That's all anyone heard.
okay.
So
Well, anyways,
why don't you?
I
No, no,
just
no, no. Go back. Fill it in though. What was the
oh, I
National
was gonna
Sandwich?
say I didn't say what it was. Oh, you didn't hear that part? Okay, so
No, that's
I
where
don't
we're
remember
starting
all
at.
the I don't remember all of the ingredients for it, but there was like beef, there was ham, bacon. I think they maybe had one other meat on there, and then like cheese all on this bun. It looked so good,
Mmm. Does
and I
sound
was
good.
thinking I would love to have some of that. I all I had was the only beef I have is some steak. It's like so. Well, actually, no. I think I have ground beef, so I could maybe make like a hamburger and then add some of those other things. But I don't. I don't have the ham or the bacon. Um,
Or the burger.
uh, I should look up the ingredient. In fact, maybe should I look it up real quick what the ingredients are,
If
Mike?
you'd like to. Just don't time out again. And while you're looking that up, I will just do a little talking. I apologize for Tom's many technical issues he has. Back
Okay, I
in
got it.
back in the 1700s though, when I was wearing this uniform, we had perfect Wi-Fi at all times and computer technology existed.
In never dropped a signal.
Never dropped a
Okay, so
signal. All
here's
right, yeah, let's hear your
you
sandwich.
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
The Uruguayan national sandwich is known as the chivito. It's is hard. Pardon me. It is a hearty, stacked, and often messy steak sandwich, traditionally featuring thinly sliced grilled beef or churrasco, bacon, ham, melted mozzarella, fried or hard boiled eggs, lettuce,
Mmm.
tomatoes, and mayonnaise, usually served on a bun with French fries.
Hmm. That sounds good.
So, and then it has the ingredients and stuff in the instructions, whatever recipe for it. But,
Say it again.
anyways,
Chavito? Is that what Chavito is what it's called?
um, Chivito, yeah,
Chavito.
Chivito.
Chavito. Okay. Yeah. No. Sounds good. No. It sounds really. I would love to
So
try it
uh,
sometime. So maybe I'll make
they
it.
showed it on camera, and I was like, "Oh man, oh yeah, we should. Hey, we should do a taste test of a Chivito sandwich
Maybe. Yeah.
in honor with a good Chianti or something. I don't know what would go well with that. I mean, there's so many different kind of meats. But anyways,
I would like to call out a friend of the show who I think I'm ready to maybe have another show with, and I don't know how what your interaction level would be, Tom, but Aunt Laney. Aunt Laney. We have actually
mhm.
had a show with Aunt Laney before, and I think she'd be ready for another one. What we were talking about before was making a goose, a full goose. I have found
Mm,
a source. I have found a source for a goose. And the last time Aunt Laney was on our show, we talked about it. That was a couple months ago. Well, maybe several months ago. We did talk with her about that. I'm gonna have to. I may need to reach out to Aunt Laney. If you don't know, Aunt Laney has her own cooking show. She also streams a lot of the cooking things.
I try to
Um,
catch her whenever I can.
oh
She's really
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
me too. But yeah, no, we love Aunt Lainey. We think she's amazing. She's an amazing creator, an amazing. She actually does things. Yeah, to Aunt Lainey.
Vaughn
Uh,
Laney.
she's an amazing creator. She amazing cook, home cook, amazing a lot of things. Um, Kind of similar background to Thom. You know, she's in the theater. She did art, music. She can sing. She actually can sing really well. Also too. But anyways, she's a woman of many talents. Um, Love to have her back on the show. I may need to reach out to her again. And then also, like I said, the goose thing. That would be quite the endeavor because it's like a 8 hour. I mean, I can do a lot of the prep on my own without her, but yeah, anyways, believe it or not, this room has a dining table in it, and I gotta find some people who want to eat goose. Cause that's the other thing about goose is that it's a lot. It's a lot. It's not as big as a turkey, but it's much bigger than duck or chicken. So it's you got to get some people to come and eat it because it's not. It's gonna go to waste otherwise. So, anyways, Aunt Laney for sure next. All right, Thom. So let's. I think we've had enough time go by. Let's evaluate. So, Mike's apartment scale. Five. Five is ambrosia. It's the best of the best. It's the top. Zero. Zero is shit. It's the shit of the gods. It's the worst of the worst. Thom, where is this Woodbridge Pinot Noir? Where does it rate?
Well, it's cheap, so I like that.
That's not what we're
uh,
rating. Taste only.
no,
Taste
taste
only.
only. I think there's this part of me that wants to give it a 4,
Mm.
and then there's the logical part of me that's like, you can't give it a 4. It's not amazing. I really like it. I think I'm gonna just have to take a vote real quick and settle on let's just tallying
Hold on.
here. Uh,
What did your monkey think?
just a minute. Let
Can
me
you bring him back on? Or what's his
let me
name?
force.
What is his name again?
Oh, his name is Ralph. I never gave
Ralph?
you his name.
Okay,
He
Ralph, what
he's
do you
Ralph.
think?
Oh, and
Ralph?
I got this puppet. Should I tell you where I got it from real quick?
Sure.
Because I didn't tell you that either. I was staying the night with some friends from church, and the two of the girls had this monkey, and they knew I loved puppets, and I played with it, and they're like, "Why don't you just keep it?" So I was like, "Hey, I was like in 8th grade, whatever." But anyways, just a second. Can you get it? Um, yeah, he.
Ralph, what do you think? Can I talk for Ralph for a second? No.
Do you want to talk for Ralph?
I think I think I think it's the best goddamn wine I ever had because it's the only wine I ever had. Motherfuckers. Motherfucker, ignorant goddamn piece of shit. I'm sorry. That's all. Sorry. This is why I don't have a puppet. It probably is for the best. I
So,
don't know.
so what do you think, Ralph? Did you like it? Yeah, I liked it, but it's the only one I ever had, so I don't know what to compare it to. I give it a 5.
Give it a five, he said.
Yeah, yeah, give
Five?
it
Okay.
a 5.
Ralph,
Okay, well, I
You're
give it
cut off. You're cut off, Ralph. You've had too much.
I give it a 3.5. Ralph, go away.
3.5. I'm gonna give it 2.75. It's
Less
not
than
bad.
3.
Well, yeah, less than three. Two
Well, it's
point.
better than that. Barefoot, was that a cab we tried?
Yeah,
But
that was bad too. Well, this one it's not bad necessarily. It's like a This would be like your common drinking wine. I would say some stupid people would go to like a bar or a restaurant, drink this, and think, "Oh yeah, this is great." It's not great. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. If you have nothing else going on, I would say this. It's a little dry. It's too dry for me. Um, And yeah, I admit Pinot Noirs are maybe supposed to be a bit dry of a red, not as far as like a Chianti or a or a Cabernet. They're not as dry as those, but this one, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Again, 2.75. I'm not throwing it out the window here. I'm not dumping it down the toilet. It's all right. It's just not. It's just not. I've had better wines. Actually, I had a better wine last night. I mean, I'm just saying, this is not like the best of the best, but if you got like nothing else
Mhm.
to drink, and actually, here's the thing too. If you're just trying to get a little bit intoxicated, yeah, this is definitely the wine to go with. So,
You know what we should
and I'll
try?
keep drinking it, but
We should, if we can find a good a chocolate wine is
oh yeah, they
can
have
be good.
lots of
It's
those. Yeah,
they have like various reds that are chocolate. Is it infused or whatever? We should try
some
one of those.
yeah,
I've
I'd be down
I've
for
had
that.
some good ones. I think, well, 'cause I wanted to do a Tisdale wine, which you couldn't find any. It
There's
is a
there's
national brand,
there
but there was
it's a national brand, but there's no
but-
distribution here. I would have had to drive
yeah,
an
so
hour and a half to
yeah.
to get it.
But Tisdale, I think, made a chocolate wine. I think that was the first chocolate wine I ever had. It was really good.
Yeah.
But um, anyways, so we got the rating done. We talked about food
Anthony Bourdain. Yeah.
and Anthony, and I showed some pictures. We introduced Ralph, who Mike wants to replace me as a co-host.
I'm just
And
saying, Ralph could be pretty popular. I don't know. Um,
so, but anyways, no. Now, what is our next topic?
our
Our fun
final,
topic.
well, our geeky topic, our final
Yeah.
topic is an analysis of Data from Star Trek Next Generation, though he was in some movies and he's also in on Enterprise. Well, no, Brent Spiner was on Enterprise as, well, the father of Data, but long story short, yeah, we're talking about Data from Star Trek Next Generation, and now and analyzing him, and I can bring up a few episodes particularly. But what do you like, Tom? Before I get into it, what do you think about Data? What's your analysis of him? What do
So,
you know?
we mentioned this. So I started watching the show when it came out
Mhm.
on TV, and I think I mentioned I grew up. My dad loved the original series, and when I started watching it, I was like, well, wait a minute, why don't? Where's Kirk? Where's Spock? Where's McCoy? Whatever. They had this whole new cast of characters, and the captain, he didn't generally go down to the planet
Mm,
unless if he was going to fall into a hole with Beverly Crusher or get psychically bonded with her or something. But anyways, uh,
okay.
but they had this character Data, who I thought was really interesting because I that was as a kid I was a bit of a geek. I loved sci-fi and robots and things like that. I was a little too scared to try watching The Terminator, but I eventually did watch it. But Data, I think, was one of the main reasons I was curious enough to continue watching the show, even though the first season kind of sucked with a lot of the episodes. But they did interesting things with Data. Like in the first episode, they introduced that he could actually uh, play back or speak in somebody else's voice. When I think Q was putting them on trial, I, he quoted, was it Picard that he quoted in Farpoint, Encounter in
Yeah.
Farpoint? They did a lot of interesting things with him over the course of the movies, in the show. Uh, well, they actually, it was really cool. Once Gene Roddenberry kind of stopped influencing the show, they were able to build characters out. In Data, you learned that he was trying to be human. Excuse me, but he could never quite experience humanity. But he would try things like painting. He had a cat. He had sex with Tasha Yar apparently, and he experimented with a relationship at one point, and then in the movies they kind of explored like what. Oh, there was an episode of Next Gen where the ship. It was kind of like the Poseidon Adventure, where the ship, like, what did they get caught in a quantum filament or something? And like all parts of the ship were separated, and Data and Riker, I think, were trying to get to engineering, but they came up to this corridor that was like electrified or something, and he's like, "Well, my body can take it. Here, just take my head off, and then and just put my body in there, and it'll absorb the electricity." And Riker's like, "You want me to take your head off?" They did all sorts of crap with Data that I really liked. Um, I could go on and on. I mean, there's, of course, they had that. Was it Measure of a Man, where they actually played out, is he sentient? Does he qualify as a life form of some kind
Well,
that would be
and
protected by
and it's
law?
should he have rights? Yeah, should he
Yeah, should
have?
he have rights?
Yeah.
And then well, you're wearing the George Washington thing, and we were talking earlier how at one point he actually was a slave owner, and I guess in his will you said that he had willed his slaves to be
Well,
freed
hold
when
on.
his wife died. But
George
George Washington,
Washington had slaves, not Data.
yeah.
Okay,
Did I say Data had slaves?
no, but
Sorry, George
you
Washington.
didn't clarify
Oh,
though, and you're talking
okay,
about
George Washington had slaves, and then
319, and upon his wife's death,
yeah, they'd
they were
be
free. Yeah, they were
freed.
freed. Yeah.
So, but anyways, why did I think of that? I don't know. Anyways, oh, because of the rights. And at one point, Picard was talking to what was the character's name? Whoopi Goldberg's character.
Guinan,
Guinan.
Guinan. Yeah.
He was talking to Guinan, and she's like, "This is a slavery issue, right?"
Hmm.
And Picard's like, "I didn't think of that." So I think that's why I thought of that then. Anyways, so they Data was used so creatively throughout the course of the show that I could go on. I think I need to stop. I just loved
Okay.
he was. I think he was the main reason I stuck with the show as a kid, even though they didn't have Picard, Spock, and McCoy, that dynamic.
No, but I think they had their own dynamic,
They
which
did.
was
They
very
did. By season 3, they were on a roll.
well, that's yeah, and after season 2, that's when Gene Roddenberry passed away.
Uh,
So a lot of
oh,
his influence was no longer.
Gene
Oh,
Roddenberry.
we're gonna cheers everyone tonight.
Why not?
All right.
And a toast to you, Mike.
Oh yes, to
I'm
me,
gonna drink to you.
my all of my sins broadcast to all of our
Mm,
20 viewers.
mm, all
um,
right.
all right. So what can I add to what you said? Okay. Well, first of all, season 3, The Offspring. That's where Data
Oh,
creates his
lol.
daughter, Lol.
Lol.
Lol. Yep. His daughter Lol is created and dies within that same episode. I think it is it is really sad because even so that admiral guy who actually wanted to take Lol back to Starfleet research, he described it. He's like Data's hands moved faster than anyone could see, and he was trying to keep ahead of the relays that were failing in her, and he's like even he could not do it. So Lol did die, but I think that's one of the episodes about Data that are it informs you. It informs you a lot about Data and his creative powers and also his emotional ones. Later on, he gets the emotion chip. Um,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
causes some
yeah, and
problems, but it's fun.
he can hear the whispers of the Borg Queen in his head. He can there's other stuff that has so he like interacts with other cybernetic life forms. Technically the Borg are a cybernetic life form. Just I mean, Data's a fully well, he's an android. Like there is no human parts to him until they start to graft. In
The Flash
Star Trek
or
First Contact,
First Contact. Yeah,
where they graft the skin on him so that he can feel, and for him it's intoxicating. It's it's
Oh
pleasure.
yeah,
He feels pleasure. He feels just the
when she
fact.
blew
Yeah, she just
when she
blew.
blew on his and he got the goosebumps,
Yeah, like
and you could see the hair standing up. Yeah.
for him, it wasn't just like a little thing. For him, it was a major, like, for the first time as in his entire existence, he felt something,
Mhm.
and that's like the most intoxicating thing for him. I mean, what else can we say about Data? Oh yeah, he's as strong as 10 people. He's super strong, stronger than Worf. He's the most.
Mhm.
He's the. He can do whatever with his. And then also he has a positronic net. His brain, he can read faster than anyone. He just like he for some reason, and of course, some of this has to do with the fact that it was the 90s. They didn't have Wi-Fi technology like they have now. Obviously, it would be wireless today, but like back then, he had to still read things from screens, right? Like he manually had to, and he couldn't just necessarily plug in. Um, though some episodes he could, other episodes he couldn't plug in. But anyways, he was able to read so much like he's like faster, 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 and like all the data would come down, and he would read it faster and faster. Um, Other things like his conflict with Pulaski. So after
Oh
well,
yeah.
it was the
It's been a
actress.
long time since I've seen season two, but
Yep, it was season two.
yeah, I remember like at one point she's like data. And
That
he's like, it's pronounced
purposefully,
data. And
and
she's
she
like,
was purposefully saying it to antagonize him, like to try to,
yeah.
because she didn't believe in whatever. But she didn't last. I think her name is Diane Mulder or Mulleder or something like that.
She was in the original
She
series, I
sucked.
believe.
Yeah, she was. She was an actress. Well, I think of it like a guest. She was a guest in there. But you know what?
Yeah, or something.
She and I don't know her personally, obviously. I'll say the character though for Pulaski, horrible, terrible, not worth.
Did I- did did anybody
Gates
like her? I guess I'd have to
No,
look it up on the
no, she was
internet.
she was the one they hated even more than Wesley Crusher. No, I'm just kidding. She and
Which,
Wesley
by the
was
way,
that was bullshit.
Wesley.
But yeah,
Yeah. Oh, and did you know? I just I never knew a lot about like what happened behind the scenes. But apparently Wesley's parents were assholes, and there was a bunch of stuff that happened to him, like on set or behind the scenes with his parents.
well, I think
Which
he
I
had to at 15 or 16. He had to declare an emancipation as a minor because
did
his
he?
because his parents were taking his money and not
Yeah.
doing with it what they should. And
But
and we
anyway,
all love we love Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton is an
yeah.
amazing. He's not only on Star. Well, he was in that. He was in Stand by Me. He
Great
was
movie.
yes. He was in a lot of things as a
Was
child,
was
but
what? Yeah, I was
he
trying to
was
think.
in
Was it
the
Was
Guild.
he in the
Oh,
Was he in the Explorers? I don't. No, I don't think he
I
was.
don't know about that. He was in the Guild. He was the person that slept with Felicia Day the one time, and then he was like,
Oh,
"I'm an epista
oh,
whatever paleo whatever person." He's like, "I only want to experience everything once." And then he was in that. But then yeah, he's done a lot of Critical Role. He was in Will Wheaton has as a guest starred
yeah.
in Critical Role. He plays
Uh,
he's a celebrity like Dungeons and
And,
Dragons player. I mean,
and,
he's
and then yeah, and he was also in Big Bang Theory
mhm.
as a guest often. I loved him on that show. Uh,
Will Wheaton
but
also.
anyways,
Oh, wait, hold on. Just like Anthony Bourdain, Will Wheaton has had depression throughout his entire life, and he was talking about how he was, and his kids maybe are obviously older now, but when his kids were young, he remembers taking a walk with them, right? And
mhm.
finally, like one of the times he was taking a walk, he didn't feel sad anymore. And
Oh,
he realized this is the medication working. His meds that he was taking for, the antidepressants for his depression, he was like taking a walk with his kids, and that was the final time he was just like, I don't feel sad anymore. The meds are working and I can be outside with my kids and feel happy. And that was like his his moment, his moment. And unfortunately, Anthony Bourdain never had that, because he killed himself. But yeah, that's like one of the nice things, to hear about that. Will Wheaton, you know, he fixed, well, not fixed, but he dealt with his issue to the point where it was no longer like a thing, right? So and I think that's important, right? Like that's if we're gonna talk about Will
Yeah.
Wheaton at all, let's talk about his, let's talk about his successes as like a human being. I mean, that's,
Hmm.
anyway.
Hmm. Yeah,
Anyways,
I never had issues with him on the show. I think uh, he was another reason I think I connected with the show because I was a teenager
mhm,
at the
mhm.
time. Well, actually, no, it came out in '87, didn't it? So I was
But
like
it went to
10.
95 or 94 or whatever it was. It's seven
Yeah, but I
episodes or
mean,
7 seasons.
excuse me. So I was about 10 when it came out, 9 or 10. And but he was a young character that played a prominent role on the show and that I think I was able to kind of feel that connection to. So so it's funny. We're supposed to be talking about data,
They they
but
they, they all interact, but yeah, I mean Brent
yeah,
Spiner,
they
yeah,
all
I mean,
yeah they I, so well, and of course the Picard show started with a heavy focus on Picard's relationship with Data, which
mhm.
if you watch TNG, that doesn't quite make sense because he had the same. He said that his only real friend in the crew, I think, was Beverly Crusher. But
they
until you
had
got to
they
the
had breakfast every morning. They had breakfast
and then and then I think at the end, all good things when he finally joined Riker's weekly poker
game,
game.
yeah.
He's finally started opening up and connecting with people and stuff. So I don't know, maybe he got to
Well,
be friends with Data after that, but in the movies they just kind of put them two together. I think like
I
uh
think okay, so back to the Offspring then. Again, that's season 3 of Next Generation. This is after Measure of a Man, so they actually reference that too. Picard. Picard mentions what he's like. I've already gotten you your rights. He's like, but this is wrong. This is wrong. Damn it! And
yeah.
I will not
And
allow a
he
member. Because it's like he likened it to a member of his crew giving birth. But yeah, Starfleet research wanted to Lol, take her away from Data, and yes, that was where we get the more philosophical and whatever Picard, where he's like, "This is wrong, damn it! I wouldn't allow another member of my crew with a child to have the child taken away. Why would I allow it in this case?" Some, something
Mhm.
along those lines.
Well,
But
didn't Picard at one point tell Data to deactivate her when he first found out about her?
well, that was his first, not deactivator. I think he said he wished that he had been informed that she was created, and then Data was like, well, when other members of the crew procreate, they don't talk to you about that, so why would I? You know what I mean? Like he's just having a child. Why would if other members of the crew are not also doing that, why would they go to the captain with it? But then yeah, after that though, Picard gets a little bit more right in the head about it, I would say, and he's like, damn it, we're
Yeah.
gonna fight this. We're gonna fight because Data's kind of like, as an android, he's kind of like giving in to the commands because that's what he's used to. But then Picard is actually standing up for Lal and for Data's, rights as a
Yeah.
parent. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's called The Offspring. It's in season 3. I don't
Yeah.
remember which episode. It's really good though.
I actually have season 3 on DVD. Maybe I'll watch that after we get off
You
here.
should. You should watch it.
But
It's one
I
of the best Data episodes. Other Data episodes though, like as you said, Measure of a Man came out. I think that was season 2-ish. That was good too. That was where
yeah.
well, actually, it was strange because it was some new JAG officer. It was a lady. She was like the new officer for criminal trial, or not criminal trials, but just trials
Oh,
in general
yeah.
in that sector. And then uh, Picard represented Data, but remember Riker had to
Hmm.
be adversarial to that, and they're like, well, as his best
Which,
friend, he had to be whatever, and he was good, and he's like
well, I don't think
Pinocchio.
Riker wasn't Data's best friend. That was Geordi,
No, no,
I
no, no,
believe.
no, no, no. That's not what I mean. I mean,
Oh,
Riker had to be in that trial in Measure of a Man.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Riker
yeah.
was like the prosecutor. He was like he was like the adversarial to he was the adversary, legally speaking, to what um for Data's rights. So he had to be like
Hmm.
he learned where like on Data's body there was that shut off. So he's like, and Pinocchio loses his whatever, and he pushes the button, and Data just goes,
Yeah.
and he shuts
Didn't
off.
he take Data's arm off and stuff? He's like,
Well,
we can
yeah, yeah,
disassemble him
yeah,
and reassemble him, and
yeah. And there's arguments like Picard said, well, there are species that have a greater strength than humans. There's other things, but no,
yeah.
in the very end though, yeah, Data was given his rights, his sentient rights, and that guy who came on with the blue shirt, he was God. What was he?
Trying to think what his name was, because they
Yeah.
brought him back for Picard season one.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. But anyways, long story short, yeah, he at the very end, at the end of the court trial, he admitted. He said, "I withdraw all my arguments for Data. He can do what he wants." And then Data was
Mm.
like, "Well, I choose to not go back with you." And he said, "I'm going to stay on the ship." And that's,
But then,
just what
but then
happened.
he still worked with Data. Still stayed
Yes,
connected with
Is
him,
it Maddox?
and
Maddox?
Maddox.
Is
I
it
think you're
Maddox?
right. I
Am I
think
thinking it?
Maddox is.
Sorry, my brain
Yeah,
is clogged with this
that
wine, but I can still remember.
that sounds right. That sounds right. Let me see. What was
Oh,
another good Data
the
episode?
one where
Oh,
he dated a day in the life of, it was something similar to that. It was like where he dated that woman.
yeah, and he like programmed like interactions and stuff and
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
So he,
and the conflict. He's like, is it me or is it you? And he's like, oh, sorry, I thought you wanted conflict in our relationship. I saw that was somehow a thing. He like pro.
wasn't that also the episode where people like would randomly like be sucked halfway into the floor and just
I don't remember
I
that, but
but I might be mixing up episodes, but there there was an episode, and then they also redid this in one of the movies where I think in the I can't remember if it was the movie or the episode of Next Gen, and I don't remember which movie it was, but he ended up showing up in a village on a planet where they had one of their observation posts, and
yes,
he walked in with like radioactive material,
that's where
and
he
he was like,
forgot. Yeah, people
yeah.
were getting sick. No, that was during TNG. That wasn't a movie. Um,
No, but they did the same thing in the movie. I think it was Nemesis,
where they had the
where
observation
he did the
post.
phaser thing, and yeah. But anyways, so
Well,
slightly different scenario,
hold on.
but
We can go back though. Let's go back to the TNG episode really quick.
that's
Um,
what I was. That's what I was gonna do
that was the
because
one where he had the radioactive metal, and everyone was getting sick,
yeah,
and they blamed Data, but Data didn't have his something. Data couldn't remember who he
yeah,
was, and yeah, no,
yeah,
that was like God. I want to say God, it was a later season. It must have been like season 5, 6, or 7,
5 or 6.
maybe even. Maybe not 7. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. Maybe not
but
7, but
I
it was
remember
good. It was a good episode.
I
Yeah.
remember the him sitting in on this lady teaching the kids.
Hmm.
It was about like the elements and all this stuff, and he's like, I think you're reasoning by allegory or whatever it was. He's like, that's not how things are. You're just making connections that aren't there because they make sense to your faith or whatever. And
Yeah.
but uh,
There are so many good Data episodes. I mean, God, it's hard to even. Okay, back to the one where he gets a human relate is like Data's Day, or what is it called? Something like Data's Day.
that sounds right. That sounds right.
So Keiko and Miles O'Brien are also having an issue during that they're also having an issue about their so they're going to get married, and Data's asked to like help, and there's something about that too, and I don't remember exactly. I will, Tom. My God, we got to get you Paramount Plus or something, because you know what, you need to go through
Well,
Deep Space Nine, because that character Miles O'Brien is a main.
yeah.
He's not a guest. He's a main
No.
cast member on that show.
So pause
It,
for
yeah,
just a second.
yeah. I'm
I
paused.
have HBO Max subscription.
Okay.
Paramount, I believe, is buying out Warner Brothers, who owns HBO. And so I believe once that is all settled,
I hope.
I'll probably have access to Paramount Plus. I mean, I might have to watch ads or whatever. Like when I watch Hulu on Disney Plus, I have to watch ads. But I
So
don't know.
so
I don't really.
basically, what are you?
Anyways,
Let me just ask this question. Which? Because here's the thing. Like I've actually seen every Star Trek series
so yeah.
up through and including SFA, which is Starfleet Academy. They actually just last Thursday gave their 10th episode for the season. There is going to be a new season next year, but for right now that's all there is. So I have technically watched every episode of Star Trek that has ever existed and every movie. Now, my question to you is which what have you seen? Like where are you?
So I've seen all the movies,
Okay.
including like the J.J. Abrams movies and
Yep,
whatever,
yep, I've seen those too.
um,
Yep.
which I liked. I liked those. Um, and then I've seen most of TOS, although it's been so long since I've watched it, I've forgotten a lot of it. Um, I've seen all of Next Gen, all of Voyager, uh,
All Voyager.
bits and bits and pieces of DS9, a few episodes of Enterprise. I think I was watching it when it was originally released, but I never got to finish
Sure.
it. I've seen um, the first two seasons of, was it Discovery, where
Okay.
they had the tardigrade thing in the as part of the engine or whatever. Um, and then
Did you get to the burn?
I don't know what the burn is. I got to the end of
That's
season
a
two.
problem. That's a problem then. Yeah. You
I
don't
I,
know
I
about the
got to
burn. Okay.
I got to the end of season two. I think where they ended up in the future or something like that.
Mhm.
But and then but I was watching that on somebody else's not Jellyfin. What was the other one where you could upload your videos to a server?
I know.
But
Ugh.
anyways, he had given me access to his stuff. She now, by the way, that's our former coworker
I
that's
know. I know.
trans.
Yeah, I know who it is.
So okay,
I know
so
who they are. Let's say that.
but at the time he it was a he. They were a he. Anyways, let me think. And then Picard season one, and then I've seen reviews of season two and three, so I've seen clips
Okay.
of those. I have not seen any of like the what was the animated series, or there was an there was an animated series, right, that Jack Quaid was in or something. I don't remember. And then
Uh,
SFA Below Decks,
well, and also strange. Is it
Strange
Strange
New
World?
Worlds.
Strange New Worlds. Yeah, that's a good one
I've
too. Yeah.
I've seen clips of
Okay. Yeah,
those.
you gotta watch Strange New Worlds. You gotta watch SFA. I mean,
Did
that's
you watch Below Decks?
no. Is that the cartoon one?
I'm guessing that was the animated one.
I did not see that one. No, but I've seen all the other ones. Yeah, I've
And
seen
I think
Strange New Worlds.
I
I've
think
seen all of SFA, just
if you
as
know
of
who
last night, even. So
do you know who Jack Quaid is?
no.
Have you seen The
Is
Boys?
he related to Dennis Quaid? I don't know.
Yeah, that's his
Oh,
dad.
oh, okay.
Have
No.
you seen The Boys on Prime?
Yes, I've seen The Boys.
He's the main character whose girlfriend was killed in the first episode by the
Oh,
speedster.
he's
What's his name?
also in the movie Novocaine. Yeah,
Oh, and
he was in Novocaine. Yeah.
he's
I
been
know
in
who
a
you're
lot of
talking.
movies.
I know who you're
But
talking
anyways,
about. Yeah.
I guess I don't know what part he played. I just know he he's a frequent guest on the Red Letter Media uh, show I watch on YouTube,
Hmm.
and he mentioned he was at a con and they all dressed up in Starfleet uniforms and went because he said we never get to wear Starfleet uniforms when filming the show.
That makes sense.
So he said it was kind of a fun thing to do, but
That makes sense. Yeah.
so anyways, yeah, that's my exposure.
To
So
data.
primarily for me, the biggest influences on my perspective on the Star Trek world is Next Gen and Voyager
Hmm.
because I have seen all of those.
We
I've
gotta
watched them all
we
more than once.
we gotta get you Deep Space Nine knowledge because there are so many episodes I want to review on here that you haven't seen. Let me. I'm gonna find out here. I'm gonna find out because I might get you Paramount Plus.
Well, well,
Let me
why don't
try it.
no, before we do that, let me look into how long it might be before I have access to it because you might not have to do that. We have lots of other shit we can
Uh,
talk about before that. Uh,
Shit. You think
because
we
I'm
talk about
thinking,
shit on this show? No, I'm just kidding. You think this is a shit show? Is that what you're saying, Ralph? I mean,
uh,
Tom. I mean, Ralph.
I think
I want
Ralph and
Ralph.
I are think this. I think Ralph and I are one and the same.
I want a puppet now too. What the hell? I'm gonna have to buy one. Not Ralph though. I'm gonna buy a different puppet.
This puppet, I think, has survived since the '80s.
I don't know that I'll get one from that, but I'm gonna get a puppet.
But
Fuck that noise.
uh,
I
and then
want a
I can teach
puppet.
you how to do puppets. I
I
can
want
teach
a
you how to do
puppet.
like the stick hands, where I could do I could do a puppet with the stick hands and like do random things. I think I told you I could make it pat its head and rub its tummy. All you do is you got your puppet here and you got the sticks in your hand and you just kind of go in a circular motion with the sticks. If you can hold chopsticks, you can do puppet hands.
I can hold chopsticks.
So
Oh, oh man.
so,
All
but
right.
anyways,
All right. So we've spoken a lot about data. I think we've explored it. And yeah, that's all I have to say. If you like what you've seen, like, subscribe, comment, don't comment, share, hit the bell, do what you want to do. Any other final moments here, Tom, or anything
well,
else?
I think I'm gonna go find my TNG season 3
You
box
should.
set
And read and
and,
watch Offspring. Yeah.
and watch Offspring. Yeah.
I think it'd be great.
I hope everybody here. I hope everybody.
Gets a
I want
chance.
everybody to experience Data. He's got a lot of good shit.
Yes, he does. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.